Hello, welcome to episode 234 of the Casual Tryhard podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm James.
Did that work? Was that good enough?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay. I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk because I'm so angry. So
Understandably so, my friend.
we had talked about some Anthology products coming to Arena last week briefly with the hope they would get better, and we are going to render our verdict this week if they got better.
And the jury says,
Nah, dog.
nah.
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 So if you want to get at us on social media, particularly about topics, maybe things you're interested in. I know someone wants us to brew some decks in our Discord.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm up for that, but we'll see. We'll see how desperate we get.
See how desperate we get. James, that's you're the Brian Gottlieb to my Jerry Thompson at this point in our podcast career.
Exactly.
We'll
you know, I was thinking that the whole time you were talking about that during the pre-show. I'm like, ooh, that's me. Ooh.
But if you want
Am I a fraud?
Is there gonna be a guy named Dave next week? We don't
Who
have any
knows?
graphics, so we have to keep you. And I would want to talk to a Dave. But if you have ideas for, if you're a Dave, I don't hate you in general. Just, but if you want to talk to us on social media, you have show ideas, things you're interested in, let us know. Facebook, Discord, Twitter, all that stuff. I don't know. I guess we have to be like other people and be like, since Twitter's dying, I'm on Blue Sky and Mastodon. I'd have to know how to get on those things to make that statement. So
Buddy, I need less social media in my life, not more of it. I don't need any more platforms.
We are still on the SS Elon as it goes down. We have not made it to Threads.
No.
So, but...
hang on. What's up with the symbol for that? Is it like the Among Us guy? Is that what it is?
It's a stylized @ I do believe is what I read.
Oh, I thought it looked like the Among Us guy.
I think it does, but I don't think it was. I don't think that was. It is like a.
Oh yeah.
It's an @.
It's like an @ Yeah.
It's like an @ where they box the outer circle around the A.
Yeah.
Because you added people on Twitter, so we're just trying to like steal as much as we possibly can.
I don't know why I thought it was the Among Us guy.
No, people have said that as well.
Oh,
okay. I've seen that. Yep. Threads logo, Among Us. Yeah. What is the Threads logo supposed to look like? A whole article. It has like many things. They interviewed a graphic designer as I scroll through it. Like, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I've heard other people say that it like kind of looks like one of the Among Us dudes.
Yeah. The game I've never played, so.
Yeah, I mean, I existed during the pandemic, so I heard of people playing it, and I think I watched people play it.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing to do. But anyway. Facebook, Twitter, Discord. Those are where we are.
Email.
We are old and email, and we can't find any other ones.
Yep.
Now, this is where I hand it off to James seamlessly, and he talks about the rest of the intro.
Ooh, I'll take the baton.
There we go.
If you want to support the show, the first thing you can do is give us things to talk about. Yeah. No, for real though. Like if there's any strategy stuff, I know we did like a little quickie on like sideboarding a couple weeks ago. If there's any, I don't know, like mana bases or anything technical that you guys want talked about, like that's kind of where we cut our teeth on this podcast, and we haven't really done a whole lot of it lately. So if you have any of those sorts of questions, deck building, like that, general rules of thumb, let us know. We'll try and make something happen along those lines. I don't think we're going to cover Commander Masters a whole lot because neither of us really play much Commander and are both pretty fed up with the financial aspect of Magic at this point. So
it's getting hard. You could hear about what I've been doing the last few evenings on the pre-show.
Yeah. And if you want access to that pre-show, all you got to do is sign up to be a patron. You can show us how much you love us, show us that you want to support the show, chip in as much as you think we're worth, and you get access to that pre-show as well as every other pre-show. They're all up there on Patreon. Patrons also get access to our show notes, which I apologize. This week there are exactly 4 lines of show notes. So sorry about that. It's been
but they'll help you follow along.
It will. Yep, absolutely. And patrons also get put on my mailing list for when I have swag to send out, which I do, and I need to make happen. Didn't have time this past weekend, but before the end of the month, I will get the next round of givebacks out. So if you want to be included, or if you want to listen to the pre-show, or if you just want to show us how much you love us, head on over to patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG, and you can chip a couple bucks and support us that way. The other way to support us is with our TCG Player affiliate link, CasualTryHard.com/TCG. Follow that link on over to TCG Player, and anything you purchase will help to support the show. We'll get a percentage of your final purchase price. It doesn't cost you guys anything extra, and it helps pay all the fees we have for keeping this show going. We would appreciate it. All right, into the show. Let's do it.
Boo fees.
Boo
All right.
fees.
So, there are 2 anthologies coming to Arena, and they did the
both a week from today.
Okay, a week from today.
Yep.
They did the dump of all of the cards in like a day and a half, 2 days.
Yeah, it was supposed to be over 2 days. We're recording this on Tuesday. Normally we record on Mondays. Unfortunately, when we went to record the episode, all of the cards weren't spoiled yet. So
there were like 20 of the 25.
Yeah. They were supposed to have all been done, but they weren't.
And real quick, I think it was last week, I talked about the confusion, my confusion at least, around the hey, don't worry, you can craft these after such and such date. I've seen other people that said the same thing that James might have said, like after we stopped recording, which was you can craft them whenever they pop up, but
you can also craft
the anthology goes down, you can still craft them. So it's not that they're like you have to buy the anthology and like they're putting like a crafting embargo.
Right.
That sounds like they don't have the technology for that. Bro, give me my beans.
Yeah.
So my little like flip out was, as James said, probably due to an underpaid intern who
worded the brief poorly.
Yes, worded it poorly.
Yeah.
So I wish I had the tweet or like the video, but when Explorer was created, their goal was to move Explorer to be Pioneer and have Pioneer on Arena.
Correct.
Now, this can be done like kind of in practice, but not in reality, kind of like Legacy is on Magic Online. They don't have every 2/2 for 2.
Right.
On Magic Online, they have the cards that are Legacy relevant. Now, sometimes it takes a while for cards from random Commander product to get on Arena. So I think the last time this was apparent was when we had the initiative cards.
Yeah.
Right. They were in paper. There was rumblings they were good. Then they showed up online and they kind of took off. But there was like probably a 2-month gap. But for the most part, paper Legacy is mirrored online by and large.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any major cards that are missing. And I think if a card were to pop in paper Magic,
they'd put
and
it in
people were clamoring for it, it'd put it in treasure chests. They'd find a way to get it on Arena. Not on Arena, on Magic Online.
Yep.
So the Explorer format through remastered sets and through anthologies was supposed to move towards Pioneer. And now Explorer has been up for a year and a half.
A while now, yeah. That'd be a good question as to how long it's been.
I had looked it up the other day. Let's see here. So when did it start? Here you go. Let's look at the fandom wiki. God. Why am I getting like a Black Friday ad? What's going on here? All right.
Christmas in July?
Apparently.
Black Friday in June?
All right. So the first, I mean, it is Prime Day.
It is Prime Day. That is correct.
Yeah. So the
bought a whole bunch of printer chow today.
Nice.
Yep.
The first Explorer Anthology was basically this time last year.
Okay, so a little bit over a year then.
Yeah, so up. Okay, so February 2022.
Okay.
So about 16 or 18 months.
Yep.
Now, with the what's it called? With the number of cards that they've put on Arena that like do random perpetual things or random intensify things
or drafting from spell books.
Yeah. They could have put every single Pioneer deck that mattered on the client. No problem.
Yep.
Not a problem. Could have done it. Instead, they have chosen to do a slow, kind of ineffectual drip.
Yep.
Where
obviously they're trying to maximize dollars out of these anthologies.
Yes, absolutely. Like they are not trying to do anything but that. Which
of course, I don't think there's any reason to buy this anthology, but I guess that's kind of besides the point.
No. So, there have been a few key cards from a few key decks in the format that are missing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like the big one are the Lotus Field pieces, Hidden Strings. I guess Sylvan Scrying wasn't on, and Thespian Stage.
Yeah,
weren't on. So like people were looking for that. We don't have Bring to Light. Like there were some things that people were like, "Hey, these are cards that are getting played."
Yeah.
So what did we get? So we already heard my rant about Cyclonic Rift.
Yep.
Right. A multiplayer commander staple that like isn't good in a 1v1 format.
I don't know that it has ever been cast in a 1v1 format.
No, like it's like, I guess it's a, it's a petty theft or like a disperse, which like is fine and limited, but you would not take as you would not pick one as your rare,
right?
In limited, in red, Abbot of Carol Keep, which was really good.
Once upon a time.
2016, 2017. Yeah. It ran hot for a while and then went away. Shrapnel Blast. Our friend Cameron repeatedly when I started playing like M15 was like Shrapnel Blast, and it was that Scuttling Doom engine.
Yeah.
Like you sacrifice it and it like fives them or something.
Yep.
So like you could 10 someone with Shrapnel Blast instead of Scuttling Doom engine. Congratulations, you found the magic, the core 2015 combo for Shrapnel Blast.
Yeah, I mean also 8 mana, but
yeah, and to like the best of my knowledge, I don't think Shrapnel Blast has been played in Pioneer really.
When the Scissors decks were around, Shrapnel Blast saw play there, and I don't know, like. You don't know what their plans are for the format. So, like, I
do though.
Like, well, that's not what I mean. Like, just to play devil's advocate just a little bit. If Wizards doesn't want Lotus Field to be a deck, if they're thinking of taking a piece away from it, if they don't like the play patterns, like that might be a reason why they don't want Lotus Field on Arena.
Oh no, I absolutely agree. Like, I feel like,
and that's totally a thing. Like, that's a deck that they would feel that way about.
Yes, 100%. Like, I feel like it is a deck that they might ban.
Yeah.
Or it's a deck that the the people who play Arena,
Mhm.
much like when we were, oh gosh, what was, oh gosh, Nexus of Fading and how miserable that was,
Yeah.
and, like, people complained about, like, that on Arena.
Yeah.
I feel like that is like, Lotus Field is the same kind of deck. So, yeah, like, I totally understand
Mhm.
the we might be banning Lotus Field.
Yep. Well, that kind of explains Shrapnel Blast, though. Because if you're trying to get rid of arguably the best deck in Pioneer, definitely one of the
Mhm.
best decks in Pioneer, you kind of want your player base to get used to playing something opposite of that. And the scissors decks are fun.
Fair. Yeah, but this is, like but the problem is, like, when's the last time, like, the Scissors deck has been, like, at all good?
Well,
Right?
I
I
didn't say
don't
you want your players to play something good. I said you want your players to play something fun. So if you give them fun toys instead of good toys,
like, I feel like, yes, like, blue, red, like so Scissors deck for everyone is in Soul Artifact. It is 1 in the blue, enchant an artifact. It becomes a 5/5,
Mhm.
um, creature.
Yep.
So you typically put it on an Ornithopter
Or a Dark
or on
Steel
a
Citadel.
Darksteel Citadel. Um, when one of the most played decks in the format is red black, right? Like, you can't put it on an Ornithopter.
Right.
You get got. I guess you can put it on a Darksteel Citadel, but then they just block it with a Shield Druid, or they have you sack it with Lily.
Right.
And then you're just like, oh, I got like 2-for-1 against the deck that is just a pile of 2-for-1s.
Yeah.
I guess I'm sad. So, like, no, I understand what you're saying that, hey, like, I think that, like, the red white, like, heroic deck
Mhm.
that they, like, seeded in the last anthology was a, like, hey, here's a deck that some people would like to play.
Mhm.
But, like, then, like, don't hope that we all have, like, a seizure and
Right.
forget that you said we are going to bring Explorer, Pioneer to Arena
Right.
through Explorer, like, as soon as we can, and then be like, here's some bird that summons, that conjures the power 9 into your deck whenever it enters the battlefield.
Yeah.
It's like, you couldn't give me Sylvan Caryatid.
Right.
You could give me like the Mox bird, but you couldn't give me that.
Yeah.
So I am fine with the, like, theory of, hey, Shrapnel Blast is they're trying to shape the Explorer format.
Mhm.
I think they may have failed just because, like, I don't know how many of these cards move the needle in terms of, like, hey, now I want to play this other deck.
So like that was only kind of my point. Like you can think of these anthologies analogous to like a booster set, like a normal
Mhm.
set where you have good cards that are going to see play and you have mediocre cards that are maybe good for a quirky game of limited or at least fun to cast, and then you have bad cards. And like once upon a time, Rosewater wrote a whole article about like how every set has to have bad cards because they can't all be good cards. The existence of a good card means that another card is bad.
Mhm.
So like if you kind of apply that to these anthologies, like you can't just print 25 bangers, you know what I mean? I know like printing's not really the right word, but like they're not all going to be good.
Mhm.
So yes, something like Cyclonic Rift I can see, being angry about because like that card isn't ever going to do anything and is just a waste of wild cards and whatever energy it took to render Cyclonic Rift on my computer screen.
Mhm.
But at least something like Shrapnel Blast would be a good bad card
But I
in
feel like
like an
I
anthology.
I feel like Abbot of Carol Keep is also in the, like, just bad card camp.
Oh no, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
no, I'm
So
with you
then we
there.
have
I just meant
yeah,
Shrapnel Blast.
Shrapnel Blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Shrapnel Blast and I kind of went like, "Ooh, maybe there's something you could do," but, like, I don't know what.
Yeah.
And, like, I I guess there are a group of people that play unranked games that just want to do a thing,
Mhm.
and maybe this appeals to them. But like, and every so often I will dust off like green white angels because I have to cast green and white spells, and I'll just play it like unranked because I just don't care.
Yeah.
Uh, but like, um, but like as someone who like likes to see like the rank go up and not like I don't have a ton of like sadly when I play arena now, it's kind of like a job
Mhm.
in that like I'm here to get 4 wins and get my daily gold.
Right.
And like, I would like to enjoy the games I am playing, but
Mhm.
I would like to accomplish this goal as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Because you
Right.
got
Like
a
I'm not gonna
screaming
just like tip.
4-year-old.
He's 3 and he does scream, but
Yeah.
he's yeah. But like I don't know if I can be like, oh, I played like, blue red like and soul artifact into red black 3 games in a row,
Right.
got like trounced, and then like I've been playing for 45 minutes and like did not accomplish the goal of uh
Winning 4
move
games.
winning 4 games.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we have green and Sylvan Scrying 100% a-okay, fine with it,
Absolutely. Yep.
great. It's missing some friends that are blue. So this goes back to Sylvan Scrying is basically only played in one deck in Pioneer.
Mhm.
Now, does it do other? Can it do other things? Could you play it in like a Gates deck to go get like your Maze's End or whatever? Yes,
Sure.
but its main job is to find Lotus Fields, and well, that deck's not around now. Could it go into like that god awful blue white discontinuity to fairy deck
Mhm.
to make sure they have their Lotus Fields? Sure, but no thank you. Uh and again, I've not played against Lotus Field. I might be definitely like no thanking Lotus Field. And you're right. Like they could just be like, I don't want to deal with the like 30,000 tweets I'm going to get
Yeah.
of people complaining that their opponent just like clown them with Lotus Field.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put this card in the format. Okay. Then we have Eidolon of Blossoms. We talked about this last week. The bad Setestan champion.
Mhm. Yeah, there's no reason for this card to exist anymore, I don't think. Other than like in enchantment decks for Brawl, but then
Yeah.
like it should have been in the historic anthology, not the Explorer
Yeah.
one.
And like there's also like Satyr Enchanter,
Yeah.
which is this card for 1 less mana.
Mhm.
It's not an enchantment itself, but it does like most of the work.
Yep.
Court of Calling is a card I am glad that is on Arena. Like I feel like it can do a thing.
Yep, me too.
Something it can do it.
Yep.
It's interesting. Maybe there's a toolboxy deck. Maybe it starts to see more play in Pioneer. Like it's a card that it is good to have it exist.
Mhm.
So like I'm not just like, oh, they didn't give me Pioneer cards, but like this is fine. And then World Spine Worm is here for creativity.
Yep.
Fine. I don't know if like that version of creativity is the best anymore, but it's there. Cool.
You now have the option.
And we now have the option. Let's talk about some fun multicolored cards.
Ooh, start off with the funnest of multicolored cards.
Hit
Judge's
me.
Familiar.
Yeah.
That's what you think of when you think of fun multicolored cards, right?
I did when I came back to the game play this card some.
I played against this card some, and I never had fun.
So Judge's Familiar is a blue-white hybrid for a 1/1 flying, and you can sack it to counter target instant or sorcery unless its controller plays 1.
Yep.
So it's like a powered down Mausoleum Wanderer.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Or Mausoleum Wanderers powered up this.
Yeah, it did come first.
Yeah. The mono blue devotion decks, like way back when, played this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I played it in not mono blue devotion because I didn't have those cards when I came back. Then we have I don't know why they felt like they had to print the entire charm cycle from RTR.
Come on, you don't like casting Gruul Charms?
I am here for Golgari Charm
Is it Charm?
and Is It Charm.
Yeah.
We can stop.
Yep.
So Golgari Charm, all creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn, destroy target enchantment, or regenerate each creature you control. Fine.
Mhm.
Like, I guess this is kind of cover for like the knockoff Gleeful Demolition deck that we have to play because they didn't bother to give us Bushwhacker.
Yeah, how come we didn't get Bushwhacker instead of Abbot of Carol Keep? That totally should have been Bushwhacker.
It should have, like
that's a
'cause there's
fun
a
card
deck-
to cast that like
there's a
goes along with my other whatever that
Yeah.
they want to give people cards for decks that are fun.
And like it is a deck that is hot in Pioneer.
Yeah.
Or at least was like a few weeks ago before people remembered that End of Festivities was a card. But like, yeah, like that is the kind of card that you print. Like,
Yeah.
it goes into that deck, but it also supports other stupid, random, like aggressive, like I would have played goblins in Historic. Well, this dude's a goblin who brings the beats.
Yep.
Amazing. So we got Golgari Charm. We got Simic Charm, which I don't know. I guess it's not awful.
No,
but
I don't
really don't
think
it's
I've
been
ever seen it.
cast.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen
Like-
it in a list.
Yeah. So blue-green, target creature gets +3/+3 till end of turn. Permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn, and return target creature to its owner's hand. The problem with this is, well, yes, it's flexible. Like it's making you pay 1 mana too much for all of these abilities.
Correct.
And so like the flexibility does not let you do that, doesn't make up for it.
Right.
Now, Is It Charm is one of my like pet cards.
One of your
'Cause it
guilty
does-
pleasures.
Yes, it does all the things that like a stupid combo deck wants to do.
Mhm.
Right? Oh, it's particularly a graveyard combo deck, but a combo deck, right? So it's blue-red, and you get to choose one. Counter a non-creature spell unless its controller plays 2. So that's like counter your stupid like Rest in Peace, or your stupid like Planeswalker that's going to lock me, your Ashiok, so it exiles my graveyard or whatever.
Yep.
Right? Deal 2 damage to target creature, which
Buy you some
was
time.
way better in 2014 when it was printed, or 2013
This is
than
true.
it is now. But like it's Stomp, right? That card is like non-embarrassing,
Yep.
right? Gets pressure off of you, and then draw 2, then discard 2.
Your favorite words.
Yep. Perfect. Right? So like that is a card that like, and all of these are like kind of roughly the right rates. Like we don't get
Yeah.
Faithless Looting.
Right.
And like the counter non-creature spell, like we've seen how powerful just 2 mana pay an additional 2 is.
Mhm.
Now, since it doesn't hit creatures, it makes it a little bit worse.
Well,
And
right,
then
but
the 2D
obviously it's worse than Negate, but Negate has certainly seen play.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say it's worse than like Make Disappear. And
Yeah.
Make Disappear is like a staple because it hits creatures as well.
Yeah.
But like this card does a lot. But again, it is a pet card. But I am the first to admit it is not a card that like moves the needle to getting us towards Pioneer.
Yeah, I mean that was it. We can finish the rest of these, and then I'll kind of give you my thoughts.
Okay.
Next up is Gruul Charm. Creatures with flying can't block this turn. Gain control of all permanents you own. Gruul Charm deals 3 damage to each creature with flying. I don't think I've ever seen Gruul Charm cast or in a list.
No, I think this is the first time I've ever seen this art.
I think it was in a dual deck. I think I had it in my hand in a dual deck once.
And
I don't
what
think
does this do?
And the last one is Orzhov Charm. Return target creature you control and all auras you control attached to it to their owner's hand. Destroy target creature and you lose life equal to its toughness. Or return target creature card with mana value 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think any of those modes are particularly relevant or cost
No.
efficiently enough to see play, but it's there.
Now, okay.
So when we were talking about this in our chat,
Mhm.
I like my first reaction to the charms being here is that they're fine. Like kind of like almost mirroring my thoughts on Shrapnel Blast. Like these would be good cards to fill out an anthology. They're obviously you have to have some bad ones. These would have been good bad cards to have. They might randomly pop up like as utility in a sideboard. I think people would be fine with having them. But obviously you're not buying the anthology to get play sets of the charms.
True. Next card, again in the like pet card for me range, is Voice of Resurgence.
Yeah, I think this is a fine card to have on here.
This is a fine card. Like last week in the show notes, you had an Elementals deck that played 4 Voice of Resurgence.
Yep.
I tried to play that deck without Voice of Resurgence, and it felt like it was light on lands. Maybe having like something more proactive to do on 2.
Yeah, bring your
like
curve down
alleviate
just a
that.
touch.
Yeah, and like I was playing like Growth Spiral, which wants you to play more lands and pushes you to have more blue mana, so the mana felt bad. So lots of things. I think Voice of Resurgence is good. I will now get to test it in elementals of various forms.
Yep.
So I am here for it. Our boy Deathrite Shaman. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Definitely.
He is not very playable anymore.
Nope.
Okay, I forgot about these next two.
Next up is Obsidat Ghost Council.
What does he do?
He is a 5/5 for 5 mana, 1 white black, and when it enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. And then at the end of your end step, you can exile it, and if you do, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of your next upkeep and give it haste. So it drains your opponent for 2 every turn cycle and is missing on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, so you don't. It avoids sorcery speed removal and wraths.
Yep.
But as like a trade-off is you don't get to block, but it does draw you 2 life, so or gain you 2 life, so it kind of blocks a 2-power creature.
Yep.
So Obsidat Ghost Council was awesome when you could Gorya's Vengeance it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Like that was like fringe, like tier 3 modern-y thing to do like 6 years ago. Like you would every so often someone would like Obsidat Ghost Council.
I mean,
someone.
There was a tier 1 standard deck with Obsidat in it.
Mm-hmm. And then no one sleeved up an Obsidat Ghost Council in years.
Correct.
And like, I don't know if this card falls into like on the team fun camp.
No, not really. It's a pretty miserable grindy card.
Yeah. A card that is admittedly bad, but has the word elemental on it, so I'll probably mess with it a little bit. Omnath Locus of Rage. 3 red, green for a 5/5. And landfall whenever a land enters battlefield under your control. Create a 5/5 red and green elemental token. And whenever Omnath Locus of Rage or another elemental you controls dies, Omnath deals 3 damage to any target. I don't know, like with a Risen Reef, it's just this is just silly, right?
Yeah, you can go kind of nuts.
Kind of nuts. Sadly, like you don't get to kill them with it, but
it's also.
But I guess if they sweep you, you just get to annihilate them. But
yeah.
Well,
they also have an army of 5/5s they have to deal with.
Yes, I will mess around with this. It probably won't be good enough,
yeah,
but
probably not. Although I could see replacing some number of
Locust of the Royal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could maybe play one of these.
Yeah.
As just like your your funsy top end, like, or you're like, I don't play like Escape to the Wilds anymore, and you're just like, I'm gonna just smash the 7-drop at you.
Yeah, I mean, is a 5/5 worth a card? Probably.
Probably, yeah. I mean, especially if you play like the version that we saw, or some version of it that you had in the show, like where you have Nissa and Lotus Cobra.
Yeah.
Where like 7 mana isn't as prohibitive.
Right.
And again, making elementals good times when you have our boy Risen Reef.
Well, the deck's not on Genesis Ultimatum anymore, right?
No, I cut
But
Genesis
at one point it was, and that's 7 mana.
Yeah, it is. Like you get a lot of mana pretty easily. So like I don't think the mana cost is prohibitive.
Yeah.
So again, so like this is a card, like I've seen a couple other people playing some version of elementals.
Mm-hmm.
This is at least a card that like people may try.
Yep.
Then we have Xenagos, God of Revels, which is here for creativity. So for like blue-red creativity, you creativity for 2 after you big score, and you get Xenagos, World Spideworm.
Yep.
And
GG's.
Yes. Or they what's it called? They leyline binding you, and there's there's no GG's.
No GG's.
A quarter shield.
Yeah. How about that? A quarter shield.
0 for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +0, +3, and has Vigilante.
I forgot this was a card.
I didn't know it was a card. I can't say I forgot, because that would imply that I knew. At some point, I saw it and I was like, how is this an Explorer? Like, is this some weird commander card? Like, they've printed like Cathars Shield. They've printed some version of this card before, or since. There isn't a paradoxical outcome deck. This is not the kind of card you want in a paradoxical outcome deck.
Correct.
Now you play some really garbage 0 mana cards, but like you need powerful 0 mana cards to like make that deck work.
Yeah.
And you're not just gonna like put in thing that will let me pick up my that I can pick with my paradoxical outcome as like a reasonable card.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So I just typed in a quarter shield and goldfish to see what decks it's in.
Okay.
They're all commander decks. But the very first commander deck that it's in, Bill Nye the Pony Guy.
No, Bill. Did they call it Bill Nye the Pony Guy?
The deck is named Bill Nye the Pony Guy, and it's Bill
like,
the Pony from Lord of the Rings.
Whoever that person is, respect.
Brinks 246.
Yeah, no. I said Jaya. What is the 2 blue red whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card? Joyra,
yeah.
That was the paradoxical outcome card in standard.
Yep.
Yeah, but like, no idea why this is here.
Nope. Bad card is bad. Still bad.
Speaking of bad cards, at any point, have you thought, you know what I really miss? I miss the cycle of rare lands from BFZ.
Yeah.
Positives. They are, they have land types.
They do?
So they are fetchable.
Yep.
What don't we have in Pioneer?
Fetch lands.
Downside, they enter the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Not 2 or more lands, son.
Basic
2 or
lands.
more basic lands.
Right.
So in Pioneer, most of the time, I think this card is purely a
tap land,
a Guild Gate.
Yep.
And they tap for 2 colors of mana. So they put rare Guild Gates in the Anthology.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who was getting their data like to build this. I don't know if they had bad data. Sunken Hollow, I know at one point was played in Pioneer.
I think it was played in Inverter.
Yep.
God rest its soul.
Which was 3 years ago.
Yep. That
Yep.
was in the before times.
The before times. I think that's it.
I did see someone mention that like Prairie Stream is played in oh god. Lay down arms versions of blue white control.
Okay.
Where you just need more planes to make your lay down arms good.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I've seen, but like, I mean, in all honesty, the like Dominaria United, like blue white tap land that has a land type is probably 80% of Prairie Stream.
Yeah.
It is literally the same card turns 1 and 2 and probably 3 and 4.
Right.
So like, yeah, it is odd that they had 2 cycles and there were probably just a handful of cards. Like, they did not have to print the entire cycle.
Correct. Yeah, nobody needs a Canopy Vista.
Nope, they do not. And then the last land is Thespian Stage.
Which is 100% fine.
Which is 100% fine.
Yep.
But in Pioneer is played in 1 deck.
That they're not going to give us.
That they're not going to give us. So, like, this is like having a Stage Dark Depths format and giving you Stage but not giving you Dark Depths.
Right.
Like, hey, the like 3rd best deck in the format is Stage Depths. And like Magic Online being like, you get Stage, but you can't have Depths. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, just tell us that you would like us to not play this deck, and we will like, you know, take it as like a pre-banning. Don't like kind of like play this will they, won't they thing. So looking real quick, so MTG Top 8 has Lotus Field at 5% of the format. Ahead of Creativity at 4%. So it's Greasefang Parhelion's 5, Lotus Field's 5, Creativity is 4. And then, so like you have pretty much all the cards for Rakdos, all the cards for Green Devotion, all the cards for Rakdos Sack. And then they were like the 6%, the 5th most popular deck, Boros Aggro. You get to miss a key card for that for reasons.
Yep.
And then blue white control may have just got like Prairie Stream if you want to. Like, it's like, you know what? Let's give you a 4th way to build blue white control. We don't think that the 3 that you have are good enough. Give you a 4th. And then, apparently Omnath Ramp is a deck. Like, if I've been missing out, like, maybe I need to check out this, because, like, maybe I've been playing that all along. But, like, Lotus Field is, like, realistically the 7th most popular deck in the format.
Yeah.
And they're just like, nah. Which, again, I get it. But, like, can we just, like, have a meeting of the minds and just be like, we've decided on nah on this card.
Yeah.
Like, we don't like this. Please stop. And we also missed some like cards that would have been just like good includes. Like, I think Court of Calling is fine, but we could have done like Bring to Light. Which
there's no reason that Bring to Light shouldn't be here.
There's not, but like if you say we're only gonna give you like one like random like search thing, right? Like Bring to Light does see some play, Court of Calling sees less play. Let's make it Bring to Light instead of Cord. They weren't trying to balance the colors as there was only one blue card.
Right.
And then they didn't give us like any of the Delve cards, which I don't know if Delve is a thing that they might have problems putting on Arena, but like
I don't know why they would. Like, Escape is fine on Arena, and Delve is just Escape with less steps.
And I was also gonna say, what is the is it Titan's Nest?
Yep.
like the one Sultai, and you kind of like delve cards out of your graveyard.
Yep.
From Ikoria, like it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, we could have had Zombie Fish instead of Judge's Familiar.
Yeah, absolutely. Or what like one of the
Oh
cards.
yeah,
That
we
goes
got
in, like,
no black cards.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even notice that.
but like you
And
could
no
have done
white
Tasigur.
cards. No black cards, no white cards.
You could have done Tasigur.
Yep.
Because Tasigur goes into like Neo form
Mm-hmm.
Atraxa. Right, it would have been like janky and it only had one thing, but people could have like played it,
Mm-hmm.
being janky and bad, hoping that they would get more stuff later. But instead, we're just like, nah, dog, you don't get any of that. So, like, my frustration is just that we don't have
This anthology doesn't move the needle at all.
Not really at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that deck that you had sent me is like the deck I clicked on for like 4-color Omnath.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, everyone's on 4 Nissa Resurgent Animus. I only bought 3. Oh no. The horror. But yeah, it's kind of weird that they were just like, yeah, we're gonna have to do random things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have very easily not printed those cycles and like done a lot more. And I know that there's like the argument of like we've got to bleed wild cards and like gems from people.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything in this that like. I mean, yeah, I get it. Like you're gonna see. I'm trying to decide how I want to say this. I guess this is set up more for bleeding wild cards than it is for selling anthologies, though. Like nobody is gonna look at this list of cards and be like, "Oh yeah, take my dollars." They're gonna be like, "No, give me like a play set of Court of Callings, and that's it."
I think you would look at this. I think realistically, if you were like a competitive player that wanted to like try stuff, right?
Mhm.
I could see World Spineworm and Xenaghost because that is the deck that won the Pro Tour 3 months ago, right? Court of Calling because it could do something interesting because we don't know what's coming up in like future sets.
Mhm.
I mean, if it didn't like make it so you couldn't Gigantha, like it might be interesting in like elemental shells where you like have all these creatures and then you can just go grab something.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling real far. Voice of Resurgence, if you're like, I like elementals.
Yeah, I forgot about voice.
Right. I don't know if I can bring Omnath Locus of Rage. Like I will, but I don't think the average player will.
Right.
A
couple charms, maybe.
Like I see like 4 cards, right? And it's 2 that go together. There's Xenaghost, World Spine, Voice, and Chord.
Yeah.
Like
I'm probably gonna make a play set of Death Rites so I can play Boomer Jund.
Yeah, but like, there's not a ton of like if you want Thespian Stage, right, in the future, you can just wait and craft it like if they decide to put hidden shrinks on the client.
Yeah.
Right. But like there's nothing that's like, oh man, I really have to get that. Right. So yeah, it just feels super. It is not exciting. How about that? Like you don't look at it like much like the previous historic anthology or when they're like, here are all 10 of the indestructible bridges, like the dual lands.
Right.
And it's like, why? Why would you give me these?
Yeah. I mean,
like,
maybe that's their plan though. Maybe they're not looking to sell anthologies because I don't think they've ever really had an anthology that was worth it to buy the anthology. Right?
I don't
they've always just been better off just piecemealing them out.
All right. So Explorer Anthology 1, again, like favorite Hoplite, Rally the Ancestors, and Soul Artifact. So I guess it's just finishing off the Soul Artifact from
Yeah.
Anthology 1. Mausoleum Wanderer for Spirits. Kethis, who you like bought, and then like 6 months later they were like Shieldred, and you're like, get out of here, Kethis. Shadowborn Apostle, Defu, Tainted Remedy. So commander card.
Yeah.
Alicia Who Smiles at Death wasn't even good in its standard.
Right.
Searing Blood. Yep, Searing Blood is like fine, but not like modern Magic power level anymore.
Right.
Temur Battle Rage is a card that makes you go, maybe I could do something. Titan Strength, I guess, to again pay off the favorite Hoplite.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Nature, sure. Literally never saw anyone cast that card, but I guess it's like an out to like the Solemnity 9 Lives decks that were popular.
Mm-hmm.
Elvish Mystic, thank you. Tireless Tracker, everyone. Obzon is bad. It is not good anymore.
Correct.
Stop. Battle-wise Hoplite, like that's the only time I see Tireless Tracker is like in Obzan.
Yeah.
And like that's my like line. If I play Obzan and I don't clown them, I'm like, this deck I'm playing must be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Battle-wise Hoplite for reasons. Siege Rhino, sorry buddy. We can basically they put like a Tireless Tracker on top of you when they made Thalia and the Get Rod Monster.
The Get Rod
it's
Monster,
still not
yeah.
good enough. Slaughter Games, I guess, but you haven't given us Bring to Light, so like, why did you give us Slaughter Games?
Right.
Supreme Verdict because the blue-white decks weren't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Hangerback Walker, which I've not seen anyone play, and Darksteel Citadel to put Scissors on.
Well, I mean,
Right,
Hangerback's also in the Scissors decks.
It is, but like, have you seen anyone like? I've seen some like blue-white, like historic, like Tempered Steel decks.
Yeah.
But like very rarely do you run it. I've not seen an Soul Artifact in like
a very long time,
literal years.
Yeah.
And then Brave the Elements so Explorer Anthologies 2 in December. So more than likely we're gonna have to wait till December before we get the next one of these.
Yeah.
Brave the Elements, fine. Clever Imposter, which I've seen a few times out of Fires.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it? Incarnation.
Yeah.
Fires. Not really seen a Courser. Not really seen a Dispel. Never seen an Eerie Interlude. Eidolon of the Great Revels did for a while, but it like doesn't get played much anymore.
Right.
Eldrazi Displacer, didn't see that. Ethereal Armor, fine. Fiery Impulse, fine. Kozilek, Commander card.
Mm-hmm.
Mana Confluence, good choice.
Yep.
Matter Reshaper was awesome in 2017.
Not so much anymore.
Mutavault, fine. Nykthos, okay. Like, I don't think Mono Green is like healthy for either format, Pioneer or Explorer, but like, fine.
Right.
Nylea's Presence, I was excited for that. That card had like a moment in the sun.
Yep.
Reflector Mage, I guess, but humans aren't good anymore. Rending Volley is fine. Satyr Wayfinder is my boy. I can never say anything bad about him. Shaman of the Pack, it's not your time, son.
Hey.
Sliver Hive Lord. I just sold mine.
Yeah.
It's like
it's the best thing you can do with one is sell it.
Yeah. Soldier of the Pantheon, haven't seen that card played. Thought Not Seer, no. Worldbreaker, no. Cutthroat occasionally. Or like rarely.
Yeah.
And then this one, like you could have cut the stinkers and then like had like the main decks in the format. Like, I'm not expecting them to keep up with like all of the format, right? Like, if they put the stuff on for a deck and then like the deck changed, okay, like now we need more cards,
right?
But to like, I don't know, like none of them, like, I think that they all basically have like, this one feels worse, but I feel like they have like a 20% hit rate to like hit the format.
Yeah.
Right. There's like 4 to 7 cards. I would say the last one when I counted last time, I think generously, I think like 10,
Yeah.
like kind of hit. But this one feels like 4.
Yeah. I was going to say 3 or 4.
And like, yeah, maybe this is just they want people to like. Maybe they have found that people don't buy the anthologies; they just like craft the cards that they want.
Well, that's what I meant. Like
Yeah,
maybe they're only technically for sale. They're only for sale because they have to be. Otherwise, they're just a way to bleed wild cards out of the economy.
yeah, which could be, but like I don't know. It feels like I guess this goes back to our discussion in the pre-show. We were talking about reprint or preprint equity.
Yeah.
Um, this is effectively them having reprint equity on Arena. Right,
Yeah.
like you can only ever put a card onto Arena once.
Once.
So they have to like slowly do
Drip them out.
this
That makes sense.
so that you have to be engaged because in December there's going to be a new anthology and maybe they'll have the cards for your deck.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Probably not.
it's different from Moto in that regard because like then there you can have a reprint because there is like a number of that card in existence digitally, and in Arena
And there's a
there's
secondary market.
yeah, in Arena there's not. There's an infinite number of that card available.
Yeah, so it's just a
So you're right, you
like
can only put it on once.
so like you can't so like maybe there's a thing where they're like we have to get X dollars or X gems and X wild cards
Yeah.
out of this anthology. And maybe there's a number that they have to hit and they probably have it figured out where like we need to give them like I think Fire Shoes had a tweet where like 10 of the cards were in like I think the top 125 or something most played cards or something like I don't know what I couldn't figure what the numbers were beside them, but like and then the other cards were just like not even others
Non-existent.
receiving votes, just non-existent.
Yeah.
And like give them just enough cards that like someone's gonna be like, oh, I want like Golgari Charm.
Yeah.
Or like maybe they found that like 4 cards that might get played in the format is enough to entice someone to buy it.
Yeah. I mean,
Right? Like
maybe.
they're like, okay, like 10 is too many. We didn't see more people buy it for 10 than we did for 6. Let's see what happens if we do 4.
How much are these? 4,000
4,000
gems. So
or
that's $5?
or
No, $20?
I think it's like 20. I don't know. It's probably bad. Okay, so 750 gems is $5. 3,400 gems is 20.
So it's a little over $20.
A little over $20.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like if you're thinking about it, if there's 4 cards that you want and you're getting play sets of all of them, like, I mean, is it worth a little over $1 a card to get the play sets of the 4 cards that you want and then get all the rest of them for free? Like that might be their reasoning.
Yeah. And like that again, like, also like the insidious thing about like the way gems are priced and stuff, right? $20 is 3,400, which is not quite enough to buy that.
Right.
So then you have to buy another thing.
Right.
And then you have leftover gems, and then people are like, oh, like I almost have enough for this, so I'll just spend those gems on I'll spend a little bit more money. Because like things are never like round numbers.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not like flipping the table, but it's also just kind of like
Well, I think the only reason I'm not flipping the table is because I've grown ambivalent. Like I don't care. Like this is what I expect now. You know what I mean?
it is. I I think if you do this without the 2, like, just hideous cycles,
Yeah.
you might be able to, like, convince me. And, like, the not hideous cycles are just, like, even fringe playable cards,
Right.
right? Like, oh, hey, like, if I go to MTG Goldfish and, like, type in, you know, Chain to the Rocks, a bunch of Pioneer decks come up.
Imagine that.
Not all of them. They're not top tier, but Pioneer decks come up. Or I type in any Bring to Light.
Yeah.
Again, not top tier anymore, but decks come up and people like that card. They like the Niv Mizzet deck if like they want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Like you could have those cards, but instead it's like Gruul Charm, nothing. Or like even if they have to be like uncommons in this slot, like you could find like more played uncommons than
Yep.
and like they've shown like with printing like where was it at? Rending Volley. Like Rending Volley was part of a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't print Foul Tongue Invocation.
Right.
Is that the one? Or
yeah, that
no,
was one of Foul Shriek.
Maybe it's Foul Shriek, yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever, like they didn't print all of them. They were just like, there's one that matters.
Yeah.
Right. You could have printed a couple of them, and then again, if you don't want to like seed all the top decks so people can just like ignore like the rest of your offerings, you could at least put things that people go like, oh, I'd be interested in playing that.
Yeah.
But Abbot of Carol Keep. Sick. Now, the only thing we don't know is what's in Wilds of Eldraine, right? Because like Wilds of Eldraine could like dump all this on its head.
True.
And like make Shrapnel Blast good or make
Judge's Familiar.
A quarter shield. Just like a banger.
Yeah.
But like I don't feel like they've done that in other ones, right?
No.
So, all right. So we spent an hour talking about the Explorer Anthology. I don't think we'll spend as much time on Historic because we don't play Hearthstone.
Well, I don't even think we need to really spend much time at all. We have the full cycle of Titans.
Which one of them matters, maybe?
Oh, don't do that to my gravy train.
2 of them matter.
Okay.
Like
2.5. Titan, Sun Titan also.
Sun Titan does funny stuff.
Yeah.
But like I feel like we have similar cards now.
Yeah.
That aren't quite as Titany.
Yep.
But yeah, so okay, there's those.
So all of the Titans, fine-ish reanimation targets. Obviously, Prime Time's pretty broken. Outside of that, probably don't do a whole lot. But you also have to keep in mind that the Historic Anthology isn't just for Historic, it's for Brawl also.
Yeah, it is.
So Titans are probably good for Brawl. We have Giver of Runes, which I think is fine for whatever they're doing in Historic. Click, I don't think sees play anywhere anymore, right? And hasn't for a while.
I feel like there's a disperse Vanilla Click split card that has kind of taken it split. Like Vanilla Click stops it. Vanilla Click was like $25.
Yep.
And then what's it called? Got printed.
Brazen
Borrower, and like I think I have some clicks and I'm going to look at how much of a Vanilla Click is and then be sad that I still have them.
Yep.
Because also like this is one of those like nostalgia plays, right?
Oh, definitely.
Oh my god.
During your draw step.
They're two. So the Masters 25 ones. So the market price for them is like $3. Yeah.
Wonderful.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, not doing it. Again, like I don't know, like I guess being a wizard does something.
Yeah, I mean maybe for Brawl or something. I don't know.
I mean, there is like the blue-red wizards deck, but it's super low to the ground. Like I don't think it wants
Yeah,
click at its top end.
right. We have repeal, and
Why?
yeah, I have no idea. Echoing decay, again, kind of why. Unearth,
Like
which I
BioBlight's a card. Like why don't they
right,
just do BioBlight?
and was it Witch's Vengeance or whatever is
Uh,
kind of similar, right?
yeah, kind of. That's on creature type.
Right, yeah,
But yeah, like yeah, I don't understand.
yeah.
Okay.
Unearth, I think is fine. That's a good card to have on Arena, I think.
Um, the first one I'm excited about here, because if I were to ever play Hearthstone, you could oh god, what is his name? Stormcaller people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you can.
yeah,
Yeah, hey,
buddy.
just more ways to Stormcaller people.
That's right. And Bloodghast.
Bloodghast.
That's exciting.
It is. It is. Huge fan. Huge
Yep.
fan. That's my boy. Girl.
Um,
Amorphous vampire blob spirit guy.
yeah, whatever it is.
Whatever.
And then we have Tribal Flames.
Again, you know what we
for-
don't have in this format? Fetch lands.
Correct. No, I mean we got Triomes though,
Yeah.
but I still don't know why you need Tribal Flames. Probably
So
to go along with your Wild Nacatl.
so like the problem is like tribal flames and Nakatl, like that's the backbone of a deck in modern.
Mhm.
But like that the rest of that skeleton involves fetch land, so you can like fetch a Triome, play your Nakatl
Yeah.
on turn 2, fetch another thing, have your tribal flames and your leyline bindings be fully powered.
Well, and maybe they're gonna give us fetches
Maybe.
on Arena. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like their reason for not giving us fetches in Standard is for like shuffling purposes during tournaments.
Mhm.
Number one, tournaments aren't a thing anymore, and number two, you don't have to worry about that on Arena.
Yeah, no, you could. I think you could easily do. I mean, they do give us fetches in standard though, like the bad like brokers hideout things, like
Well, right,
things
but
that
they make them bad so they're not like playable.
yeah, and they make it so like they made the new ones so that they sack when they come into play, so it doesn't screw up arena.
Yeah.
So you're not like holding priority for getting you have a fetch.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, like I think Tribal Flames plus Wild Nacatl plus Leyline Binding and a Triome mana base is the start of some sort of stew.
Yeah.
Um,
Then we have Acidic Slime
mm-hmm.
for Brawl, I guess.
Yep.
And
Slime Ball.
Yep. Tooth and Nail.
What I learned about Tooth and Nail is it's very good when you're cheating.
Well, yeah, that is true. It is very good when you're cheating.
What the person that we often refer to as the person who always had an Eldrazi Displacer and 2 Reflector Mages in their draft deck,
Yeah.
also played a Tooth and Nail combo deck, and us always seemed to have it when they needed it in Modern.
Oh yeah.
And we couldn't figure it out. Then we figured it out.
Yeah. And then we have my boy,
Yeah.
Bloodbraid Elf. That's exciting.
The wrong art, though.
Yeah. But at least they're here. And then a smattering of artifacts. We have Mortar Pod for reasons. Worn Power Stone, probably again for Brawl. Wayfarer's Bauble, again for Brawl. And Sophie.
Yeah.
I don't know what Sophie's doing these days, but
not a ton, but like it's fine. Oh, so again, Sophie for the uninitiated or the Zoomers in the chat, sort of fire and ice.
Yeah.
And then like a respectable land cycle.
Yeah, I mean these are good.
So these are the Horizon lands.
Yep, the ones from Modern Horizons.
Yeah.
So not Horizon Canopy, but the rest of them.
I feel like they should have just thrown Horizon Canopy in here.
Probably. I don't know why they didn't.
Like, just do it. Give us like the sweet full art. Maybe they don't own the rights to that art
Oh, maybe.
anymore, so they're gonna have to like do a new Horizon Canopy art.
Maybe.
So like,
What's weird is that this feels like it. I mean, I don't play much Historic, and I tend to forget about the Hearthstone cards. Like, pretend they don't exist, even when they're cast against me. I just ignore them or scoop and move on to somebody that's not playing them. But this feels like this is moving Historic to like what Modern was 7 years ago.
it is. It feels like they're moving it towards Modern, like Modern without the most, I guess, minus Ragavan, the most like egregious things from like
Well,
the
Ragavan's
Horizons.
banned in Historic, isn't it?
Oh, I guess it's just a Historic Brawl.
Yeah.
It's your command. Did you see there was a video? Oh, what is his name? The guy with the cool voice from Germany. Brewer's Kitchen.
Yeah.
That he played a game, a brawl game with 1 Ragavan and 99 mountains.
Oh no, how'd that go?
He got a surprising number of they saw his commander and scooped.
Oh yeah.
He also got a lot of games where they played like a 2-2 or like a 2-3, and he had to scoop because he could not beat it. Because he had to like had to only play stuff off the top of their deck and only had mountains. But like just seeing Ragavan got him a bunch of wins.
Yeah. Unsurprising.
I mean, that could be an interesting way for me to get my wins each day is just make a Ragavan and 99 mountains and just go in, and if they don't concede to me, I just concede to them.
You should make them all different mountain arts, though.
Oh my god, it would take so long. Or but like maybe play some like cycling lands, just like mess with people.
Yeah.
Cycle into a desert.
You could play
the
the mountain cyclers too. Like not actually cast the cards, but use them to go get mountains. Like purposely not cast them.
Yes, so here's the weird thing. Like this might be like moving the format more towards like what Modern was in a bygone era.
Yeah.
Like I don't play a lot of Historic. Hardly any. Occasionally I click on the wrong queue. But like these cards I feel like are more interesting in terms of like what they do than
like these cards have the nostalgia factor though.
They do.
Like
they do.
There wasn't anything in the Explorer Anthology that I was like, oh yeah, I remember that deck. That deck was awesome. But like a lot of the cards in the Historic Anthology, I'm like, oh yeah, that card's a lot of fun to play with. I remember that.
And like I feel like with the Historic Anthology, like I kind of give them a pass because I also know that they're putting cards in for Brawl. Right. So like of the cards I look at and think are like for constructed, like I'm fine with Giver of Runes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of the blue cards are really for constructed. Like, and if they say Pavilion Click is, it is not.
Right.
Like I'm fine with Unearth and Bloodcast as like cards.
Yep.
I'm fine with Tribal Flames, like that pushes you to like a green based, like especially with like Wild Nicottle, like a green based. What was the Star 3 Trample guy from Dominaria United?
Oh yeah. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, but like Tribal Flames, Wild Nicottle, that Leyline Binding, we have something. Okay. Like Primetime seems fine. Like I'm at like 6 cards that if I wasn't against Hearthstone, I'd be willing to play.
Bloodbraid Elf.
Right. Bloodbraid Elf. And because like Bloodbraid Elf sometimes goes into those like domain decks.
Well, I mean, minus fetch lands, you have all of Boomerjund here. Like
Oh yeah, you
now
have
that you have
Bluey,
now
Death
that
Ray.
now that we have Blood Braid Elf and Peatland, you have like all of Boomerjund minus fetches.
Mm-hmm. And but then you also get like the joys of getting to play like the Jund Triome
True.
and stuff. And then like the Horizons lands. So I would say like there are 12 cards out of this that like I could see like making a deck or supplementing a deck well in the format. Now, admittedly, I don't think that's possible because like what is it? Historic Jund is just the two most busted, ridiculous red black and red green gold cards.
Mm-hmm.
At the top end that just like, oh, discard a card and pick higher or lower and get a card of higher or lower mana value. And like take a card out of your graveyard crap, like that are just like busted. But like these cards I look at and like you said, go like, oh, I would want to try to play these.
Yeah.
And like I just don't get that from the Explorer one. And I literally only play Explorer.
Right.
Right? Like that's it. I play Explorer and I play like a deck.
Yep.
I tinker around the edges and I play like a deck. So now, did they give me cards to tinker around the edges with in my deck? They did. So thank you. But
you're lucky.
I don't think there aren't a lot of people that like are on like Omnath or bust.
Right.
Right? Like, what are you doing? I'm casting the most busted 4-drop in this format.
Yep.
And I'm hoping it beats you. And I'm hoping to do it on turn 5 and get it for free.
Yep.
So let's go. Yeah. So like I feel like they did a better job with this, and I'm willing to give them more slack for like I've got to put stuff into Brawl.
Yeah.
But like there's not like an Explorer Brawl.
Correct.
Like
yeah, I don't know why most of this stuff is here.
Yeah, like why are we like putting stuff into like the non-existent Brawl format?
The quarter shield serves no purpose.
It does not.
Judge's Familiar serves no purpose.
I mean, Obstinate Ghost Council, like who's just like, my boy, Ghosty.
I mean, at least it's legendary.
It could be your Brawl Commander.
Could be your Brawl Commander. Your Brawlmander.
Your Brawlmander. So this is definitely, I think, on both counts, a spend your wild cards on the handful of cards that you want.
Absolutely.
But look Chad right in the eyes and go, no beans for you.
No beans for you.
Bro, give me your beans. No beans, Chad.
That's right. I want you to line up behind me and keep your beans to yourself.
Yeah, I just that sounds like a PSA. Keep your beans to yourself. So yeah, I think that a lot of people had really high hopes for this because I think they were like, hey, that like realistically, there were like this had to have 10 cards in it that like finished off some decks.
Yeah.
And then I think people would have been like sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is great. But instead, we got
whatever this is.
We finished off a deck, right? We finished off Blue-Red Creativity.
Yeah.
A deck that like kind of already was kind of together.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you could like, I don't know, just get like a track set or some crap and like that works.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. This is just a miss, and I don't know what they're thinking. I think you mentioned it earlier tonight, probably on this, that everything that Wizards does just makes people angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, name a thing, it makes people angry.
Yeah.
And like, I know there's a feeling that like Magic players in general are a little like sensitive, touchy, whatever.
Ornery.
Yes, ornery. Y'all ornery. But like, I don't see how you can look at this from like Wizards' point of view and go like, I don't understand what they're upset about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, they have to be doing it on purpose, right?
Oh, they have to be.
Like, there's no way you can look at the last however many releases, all of them, I guess, and say that it's an accident.
I honestly feel like they are like, they sit down and they have a list of like the 30 cards that need to be on Arena
Mm-hmm.
to make it Pioneer, to get Pioneer there. And I honestly feel like they're like, we need to do 6 more of these things. We need to like break this down that we're only putting 4 or 5 on at a time.
I wonder if they're doing this because they're trying to push standard and they don't want to give people options besides standard.
I mean, it absolutely could be the case, but like, I have not seen a standard video. I have not played a standard game. I have not heard anyone really talk about standard.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's so funny. Like, if they're like, let's push standard, and also let's not release a standard legal set in the summer. Let's
That's
release two sets within like 6
Month?
weeks of each other. Yeah. And well, 3, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you think about, this is so bad. Phyrexia All will be one.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yep.
there's March of the Machines.
Yep.
And then there's Aftermath. All within like 2 months of each other.
Yeah.
And then we're like, we'll talk to you nerds in September. We really need to do more to like push standard, release cards for this set or for the format on like a reasonable timeline.
No. September.
We got these. We got a modern and legacy format to break.
That's right.
We can't like take time to like make this like a reasonable release schedule. No. We've got to like make you sad.
Yep.
It's like, oh great. So hold on to your beans. If like maybe we've read this wrong, and maybe also like I was gonna say maybe someone's favorite card is a quarter shield. Or like maybe someone's favorite card of all time is Obsidian Ghost Council. Right? And like they're gonna build like an Obsidian deck. Like, amen, go for it. But don't like buy the Anthology.
No.
They have not earned it.
I don't know who could possibly exist whose favorite card is a quarter shield.
Nor I.
Like,
But
that is the epitome of the card that you leave on the table after your draft. I cannot think of a single better card to leave on the table after my draft when I go home.
It was not in your it didn't make it into your deck.
Yeah.
It just like it was the last pick and you were just like
it was colorless, so it ended up in your deck box next to your tokens just in case. And then was left on the table after you took your lands out and put them back in the land caddy.
Equip 3.
Yeah.
Equip 3.
It's colorless just in case. I'll have it in my sideboard next to my tokens.
I would just like to point out +0, +3, equip 3.
Yeah.
Sword of Fire and Ice, equip 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but maybe someone's favorite card is like Obsidian Ghost Council. So just get Obsidian Ghost Council.
It's a much more reasonable favorite card.
Yeah, but don't be like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy this whole thing.
Yeah.
So so with all that, I was less angry than I thought, but I think we have a show.
We have a show. Less anger, more
So
disappointment.
exactly. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed.
Right.
As a dad, I have to get that I get that club in my bag.
Yep.
Gotta know when to break it out.
Yeah. I
Uh,
don't know if it's just being a dad. I think it's just getting older. The
fair,
older I get, the more disappointed I get.
fair. All right. So, if you want to reach out to us on social media and I don't know, tell us how hyped you are for a quarter shield, be that one person
That's right.
that's like, look, I have written 85 entries in my guy holding a quarter shield fan fiction on Reddit. Here's the link. Let
Please
us
don't send me
know.
that link.
Let us, especially if it's like a quarter shield guy and SFW. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I don't want to know where that shield has been.
No, thank you. So, you can get at us on social media, Facebook, Discord, Twitter, all that jazz, and say like, "Hey, man, a quarter shield,
Yeah,
way better than Cathar's shield."
sure. I would
Which I
love
think
to
they're the
tell
same
you
card.
that you're wrong. Are they the same card?
I think.
I don't
Now
know. I
I'm gonna
feel
look
like
on
I've heard
Scrapfall.
of people registering Cathar's shield unironically and not a quarter shield. I could be wrong. If you're looking to support the show, there's a couple ways you can do it. First is with our TCG player affiliate link. CasualTryHard.com/TCG. Anything you purchase after following that link on over to TCG Player will help to support the show. We'll get a percentage of your final purchase price. You don't have to do anything extra. Doesn't cost you guys any more, but you help support the show at the same time. So we would appreciate that. If you're looking to support the show more directly, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG, where patrons get access to our pre-show, so you can hear us ramble about random stuff even more. They also get access to our show notes, all 4 lines of them this week. And you also get put on my mailing list for when I have cool stuff to send out to you guys. So if any of that sounds good to you, or you just want to show us how much you appreciate us, you can head on over to patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG, chip a couple bucks in, and let us know you love us.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we'll catch you on the internets.
We'll catch you on the internets.